Welcome to TRS Clips, India's fastest learning portal. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon. One thing I've got to ask you is about the 90s specifically, sir. I was born in 1993, and even as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, I remember the turmoil that the 90s had in terms of crime, that it had in terms of the underworld.
Yes.
And when I was doing my research on you, a lot of people attribute you with cleaning up sort of the 90s and
It's a
early
fact.
2000s.
It's a
world.
fact.
So, what was that like from your eyes, sir?
See, I love to get into a storytelling mode all the time because nothing comes to a climax unless it has a beginning. So this beginning is like, let us say, Chicago Mafia, Godfather, the Marlon Brando,
Yes, sir.
and various things like that, or Sicilian Mafia, Chinese Mafia, and things like that. So the Indian Mafia started long before early 60s or even earlier than that with this guy called Karim Lala from Afghanistan. He's a Pathan gang. So whoever was this Samad Khan, this Khan, that Khan, they were all the Pathani gangs. So the opposite was the local Muslim gang started by Dawood Ibrahim somewhere around 82, 83, 84. In between around that time was this Tamilian people called Haji Mastan and that Varadarajan Mudaliar and others. So then the more or less all those people faded out, and then this Dawood Ibrahim and his people. So almost all other youngsters of that time would have worked associated with Dawood Ibrahim in one way or the other. Example is Arun Gowli or Amar Naik or Ashwin Naik or Abu Salem or Chhota Rajan. All of them are a part of this thing. And so ultimately the whole thing is brought to a peak by all these people doing these things in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and 2000. So 1998 is the period where I enter into the picture, and the whole lot of things which they have done also reached an unbearable climax now, where the society and the government and the others had to tolerate it enough, they had to call it a stop. So that's the period they looked for somebody, and then I came into the picture, and we delivered what has to be done. And without any instruction from anybody. Best is, like baby with the bathwater. You are given a bucket of water, you splash yourself. By the end of it, the whole thing is clean. So to put it in one line, later on you can go dive deep into this thing, but to put it in one line, the 60s, 70s, 80s shootouts which they shot each other, on the roads they were shooting people, Ahmedabad they used to shoot, everywhere they were doing all these things. It was not clean up, it was a build up. And they started shooting everyone to build up the superiority of each gang. So in that, if policemen had shot somebody, that also was conceived or perceived to be that done on behalf of the one side of the other, So at a stage they realized when they shot it was murder, when the police shot it became encounter. So they got the job, a clean job done through somebody else. I hope you're getting it.
No, I am.
So if that is the scenario, then it reached in 1998, 97, 97 was the peak period. And then they have shot all businessmen from 95, let us say, big people like Om Prakash Kukreja, builder worth 1,000 crores, or Taqiyuddin Wahid, the MD of East West Airlines, or Vallabh Thakkar, or Manish Lala, or Natwar Lal Shah, or various peoples like that, like Sunit Katav of Katav Mill. They were all in 90. Gulshan Kumar in 95. These are all in 95 and then 96. So in 98, exactly full year, 12 months, they had shot 101 businessmen on the roads, either in their cars or in the road or in the cash counter or wherever it is. So in simple terms, 101 murders divided by 365 is 3.5 days, one man is shot dead. Now, mind you, this is only shooting and not cutting your neck or showing your knife or a variety of other ways. Only bullets were used for killing 101 people, means every 3.5 days. So the press was also in formative stage that time. The TV was coming, the mobile was coming. So it went, haywire, saying that, 15th murder and 17th murder, 38th murder, Mumbai police is Nishkami and things like that. I don't know what all flowery languages they can use. So the tension was building, the whole thing was building. So in between, if you see this, I'm describing 98. So if we go a little bit ahead, in 2000, Rakesh Roshan was said the entire shot, he's alive. Rajiv Rai, another producer, was shot. So with all these things, the build-up was so very massive. Somebody in between, again, you go back a little bit, 95, lot of politicians were killed. Prem Nayak, Prem Das Nayak, I think, he's BJP man in Hill Road, he was shot with AK-47. Then some Vivek Kelkar and so many MLAs from Shiv Sena, BJP, and all of them were shot. So the situation became such a bad scene. Extortion was very high, and marriages were not taking place in Marine Drive and all, because the day you do marriage, people will start asking money for hefty sums, 2 crore, 10 crore. Jo muh mange bolega, you have to cry, beg, and all that kind of thing. Bought a car, there was a price. You sold a car, there is a demand, and flat and all that. So the businesses have come to a halt. Marriages have come to a halt. So that's the scene. Police also came to a halt because in 97, there was one guy called Javed Fauda was shot by the one ACP, Vasant Doble. So then that was allegedly to be a fake. So there was an inquiry. The Bombay, two people, one lawyer and one politician, filed an encounter petition in the High Court. So the High Court ordered Justice Agyar. He was the principal sessions judge. Later he became High Court judge. So he was asked to inquire. He came to a conclusion after full inquiry that not only that was a fake encounter, 95 other cases were also fake. So 95 murder cases against 95 teams of Mumbai police. So facing murder is not a joke now. So Mumbai police said, okay, now what do? We just going home for a holiday. They all took a holiday and they didn't do anything. That is the time these gangsters had peaked. Mumbai police guns were there and in the holster, and they were on a holiday and they were not doing anything. So that is the time they went berserk, and the case was pending. Police was demoralized because of the murder cases inquiry and things like that. So that's the time one had to come in and set right. So that meant a lot. That meant a lot.
So, I feel every person has a kind of core skill set in their own career. And if I had to highlight 2 of your skills over any other skill, after all the research we've done, it's intelligence and strategy.
Intelligence and strategy, yes, because I worked in the intelligence bureau for 6 years in the beginning of my career. Intelligence bureau is the professional intelligence gathering organization from which R&AW got separated. So there you hone your skills and then come. And then I became additional commissioner of crime. Then I worked in the CBI again in 2001, 2004 for 3 years. So all these things do give, and again Naxalite area, that is 95, 98, their everyday survival is an intelligence operation or strategy. Otherwise you get shot in an ambush or your vehicle gets blown up into pieces. You are also, for like a dry flush, you'll be hanging on the trees. So this is what is the intelligence all about. And then you have to bring in to the table as the leader. You can't expect everyone to come up with all this kind of thing. So at the helm of affairs, the leader, if you study about leadership qualities, you have to put all these things on the table and guide people.
Yes.
So if you guide the force, like all your army chaps you would have spoken to, a leader takes the lead and others follow.
Yes, sir.
Leader can't stay behind and say, you go, I'll come behind you. So you lead. So that is what happened in this, my strategy. Strategies are multiple strategies, which I will tell you later.
So my question to you is, in 1998, then how did you begin that cleanup?
Beginning is to fall flat, hurt your nose, get up, and then wipe your nose and do something different. And like that you have to do by all these things. But in my case, there was a fantastic foundation because I worked in the same crime branch. In 98, I came as a joint CP crime. My boss was a super non-corrupt gentleman called Mr. R.H. Mendonça. And he was fully supportive and completely, and also the government. The government is Shiv Sena BJP government. Manohar Joshi was the CM and Gopinath Munde was the deputy CM. So that is the scenario. And that is, in that scenario, I had a fabulous foundation because I worked for 3 years as additional CP crime. So I had this background of all these people, their dossiers, their families, their this, that, everything. That is the background on which your intelligence edifice can be built. Now you come there, and when the blood is flowing on the marble floor or on the road divider, then you have to 360 degrees think and come up with your own strategies. I told you police had gone for a holiday because they wouldn't shoot because of the other things. So we took steps, strategies as you call it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not that in one day, in half an hour, you sit under a bodhi tree and you get all that eureka, I run naked. No, it's not like that. It happened slowly, one by one, one by one, one by one, hit and run, and then it yielded result. But the result in one line is, by the end of 2002, when I left that place, since then to now, zero shootout either by police or by the criminals. This is 19 years, unprecedented. From 60, 70, 90, 2000, there was not a single year where there were not shootouts either by the police or by this thing. So people like you who are born have never had a single gunshot. This is a rare treat, I must say. You've gone going to school, you are no kidnapping, your father, mother are not told this is so-and-so boy going to so-and-so school, no, beware, no, they lose sleep and things like that. Nothing like that. Schools are running, children are running helter-skelter, and all the buildings are going on. Lodas are building 100 floors. So, hunky-dory, this is the result of that time, that work we have done.
Yeah.